Alright, today we're going to cast a custom blank for basically making Kitless pens. This is a blank or a mold that I made. It's basically cut into it's basically three pieces of a 3/4 inch rod. Um, I just don't like cutting them, so I made my own mold. I just thought it was a little bit easier. So basically what I'm going to do, this holds 60 grams. So it's 30 of A, 30 of B. This is 7-minute epoxy, or 7-minute resin. So basically got to work pretty fast and get it into the pot within 7 minutes. What I like to do, I did a little bit of research, find that temperature gun or heat gun, or temperature gun, I guess we call it, works the best for I guess when you mix the resin up, you want it to hit about 95 degrees Fahrenheit for so it doesn't bleed together. The resin tends to stick together the best when you color it at about 95 degrees Fahrenheit. So basically, when you do mix, what I'm doing here is a 3-color mold or a 3-color blank. What works the best is waiting till it hits about 95 degrees Fahrenheit and then mixing your colors together. What I like to do is what's called a dirty pour. I basically take the 3 colors and I mix it into the lightest color first, or the dark. It should be the lightest or the darkest color, depending on what colors you're looking for. If you want the brighter color to stay bright, put it in last. If you want the darker color to be more predominant, pour it into the darkest first. I guess to each his own. Everybody's got their own way, so let's get going. So what I'm going to do here is weigh out basically 10 in each cup, 10 grams in each cup, and then I'm going to mix my color in, and I'm going to add part B after I get my color mixed in, another 10. So basically I'm going to have 20, 40, 60 grams, which will fill my mold almost perfectly. So let's get started. So there's basically 10 in each cup. So now, I made a blank the other day, and I ended up selling it, so I want to remake it. What I want is we're going to use Reflex Violet, which is a purple, and I have a bright blue, and then I have True Blue. And what I'm going to do with the True Blue is I'm going to mix in a little bit of black, just a touch, because I want it darker than my light blue. Or my bright blue, I guess it would be. So let's put her in. Now I like to try and make it to make them dark or opaque, so you can't really see through the blank. Depending on what I'm trying to do, I usually like opaque blanks because then it's a little bit easier on turning the pen. Because then there's basically no sanding inside when you have an opaque blank. If it's transparent, then you're basically going to have to sand the inside of the blank, or the inside of the pen, because then because you can see through it, right? So I try to add a good hefty amount of color. Right, even at 10 grams here, I'm putting in a good chunk, so it's going to be opaque. So there's my True Blue. What I'm going to do, I think I ran out of black powder, so I'm just going to use a tad bit of black dye. Just a small amount. Like about like that, right? We're only got 20 grams in total, so I don't want to overdo it on the black or it's just going to take over. That is about perfect. Alright, so my reflex purple. Now I want the purple to be really bright, so I'm going to add a lot more to it. Nice good 3 or 4 scoops here with the popsicle stick. Nice, so we got a really nice darker purple with the reflex violet. Right. This is the blue with the black. Let's see, that's got a nice, it's nice and thick on the popsicle stick, so you know it's going to be pretty opaque. All right, it's a good way to test when you let it drip off. You can kind of see depending on the popsicle stick that you can see through, you can tell how opaque the resin's going to be, or the cast is going to be, if it's going to be transparent or really opaque. But you can see by the sides there how black it gets. It's like a black blue. I like it. Kind of throws a curve to the bright blue. I like the look of it. I cast a blank and I ended up selling it, so I want to remake it and hopefully we can get it similar. Should be able to, no problem. Give that a good mix. Make sure the powder's mixed in fully. I like to you know, like scrape the side, mash it into the side to get that powder to break up. And but there it is. It's a nice blue. It's a nice blue black, a little darker, and that nice reflex violet. So I'm gonna put things away here because I've only got 7 minutes to get this to into the pot, so I want to make sure everything's ready to go. I'm gonna double check. I'm gonna respray my mold. Make sure I got nice in there. I've already sprayed it once, but I like to do it a couple times to make sure it's nice and has a lot of mold release inside it. Okay. So like I said to start with, if you monitor your temperatures, and once they hit 95 degrees Fahrenheit, which I'm believing is 36 Celsius, somewhere in that range, 37 Celsius, that's the time to mix it together. So like I said, what I like to do is I like to do a dirty pour. So what I'm going to do is pour the blue into the black, and then I'm going to pour the blue into the dark blue, and then the violet into that. And then I'm going to give it one little quick stir to mix it up, and then I'm going to pour my blanks. So here we go. Alright, make sure we get side B here. Alright. And there we go. No need for the scale, get it out of the way. I like to give them a quick little mix to start to get that the part A and part B getting going. Get the chemical reaction starting. And I'll just do the same thing. Basically stir up to the side to mix the two together. And immediately with this with the 7-minute stuff, you can feel the heat. You can feel the chemical reaction starting. And give the side a good scrape to make sure you get all that resin mixed. A little across the bottom. Ah, and that is so beautiful. I love the dark blue black. Alright, so with the 7 minutes, we definitely got some time here. I want to make sure my compressor's all fired up. '86, '85, '84, '84-9, '88. 86, and I like to smear it up the sides so the dark is all on the outside. I smear it up a bit, and that should be enough for mixing. You can feel the temperature of the cup getting nice and warm. And give the purple another good mix. Actually, let's mix the blue because that's going in second. Alright, and I like these cups because you'll see why in a sec. Alright, so let's check temperatures here. Ooh, 95, 98, and 95. We're good to go. So blue into the dark blue. Alright, and these cups work good, so you don't have to scrape them out. You can just squeeze them out. A little less time. Less time scraping the cup and trying to get every drop in there. And what I like to do is give her a good little mix. And there it is. I like to do my small one first. And it doesn't really matter. Nice little swirls will help the color kind of swirl instead of just go up and down in the mold. Alright, we want to make sure the mold's filled right to the top. So any air bubbles or whatnot, they're gonna it's gonna sink a little bit once we start putting pressure on it. It seems we might need a little bit more. It's actually about 62, but that's not a big deal. We're about a couple 60 shy. It's all good. Now we're just popping them into the pot. Using a small 2.5 gallon paint pressure pot converted over to basically just have pressure. And we're going to cast it up under about 40 psi, 45 psi. And that's that. Have a good one.